Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure, and I'm going to talk about something a little different today, not just the all-terrain vehicles. As many of you know, I've been running a YouTube channel for several years now, I guess like 6, 8, and I learned a few things about growing a YouTube channel. So one of the first things you got to figure out if you want a good YouTube channel and you want it to grow is you have to make good videos. You have to make videos on something you're going to like because you're going to be making a lot of them. I recommend making videos on what you watch also, right? You shouldn't be out there on an island. You should actually watch videos to see what other people do. As you're watching these videos, you should really try to join the YouTube community. You really want to make some comments, interact with other publishers, other people who make YouTube videos. That way you kind of get an idea of what the vibe of a community is. You exchange ideas, and it'll help you in the future to get a mentor. If you're making videos, you also have to learn how to edit them, right? It could have been very easy to go from here to here walking, but that dead time doesn't keep your watchers, right? People don't want to waste their time. They want you to talk about what you're going to talk about and get right to topic. So you really need to learn how to edit your videos, right? Cut and paste, so to speak. When I first got started, I used to just hit the record button and start talking and start walking, and it worked in the beginning, but you have to take your videos to the next step. As you're editing your videos and so forth, you also have to learn how to put good tags in. People who are going to watch your videos have to be able to find your videos. So put a good title on there. What is the title about? Old generator station. Old generator for a traffic sign, right? I know it's got a Lamborghini diesel in it, right? You know, talk about that in your titles and your tags. Otherwise, somebody who wants to know about air-cooled diesels won't know that that's what you're talking about, right? How are they going to guess that? You can't guess it by just looking at a photo. But if you put air-cooled Lamborghini diesel in an old traffic sign, somebody who has a need or a want or whatever to learn about those things will be able to find your video. So at this point, you're making good videos. You got some decent tags on there. You got a decent title on there. You want to make sure you put a good thumbnail up. The thumbnail is the first thing somebody will see. As an example, this is a 1985 Honda Big Red 250 ES. If you want somebody to take a look at your video, as they're looking at the 10 videos or 100 videos on Honda Big Reds, if you have a good thumbnail up and you know, abandoned Big Red comes back to life, fixing a long idle VM or Big Red or whatever, some title that will draw people in, then they will pick your video to watch rather than one of the others that's also on there. Once you're making good quality videos, you manage to get on the list of one of 100. The thumbnail makes it so that hopefully somebody watches your video and not all the others. I found one of the things that really helped my channel grow was mentors. Back in the early days of my channel, Pug1 up in Canada, he had 1 million people watching his stuff, and I sent him part of an engine, actually to one of the guys that worked with him. I sent an engine up there to Canada. It cost a fortune, $150 plus the half an engine. But he mentioned me on his channel, you know, go check out Harvey Spooner on Hoarding Mayhem, and that drove quite a bit of traffic to my channel. I also started making some deals with Musty One, the meter maid card. I got an SL125 from him and so forth. He has, many of you guys know him. He has many viewers. So when he mentioned that, you know, we were horse trading back and forth, that drove a lot of traffic to my channel. So I recommend a mentor. If you're a person who's got, you know, 3 videos up and the video quality isn't very good, and you contact, you know, one of the bigger channels and you say, hey, could you give me a shout out? You may or may not get that shout out, right? Because if you're running one of the bigger channels, you're very, very busy. The other thing is, even if the person wants to give you a shout out, if they check your channel out and they see that there really isn't anything there that's going to drive traffic to you, right? There's really no content to hold the watcher's attention, they may avoid giving you that shout out, because in a way it's wasted and almost hurtful. You may ask why it's hurtful. If somebody comes to your channel and finds, excuse the way I'm going to say it, but junk, just, you know, no content worth watching, if they hear you get a shout out, they might check it out once, find out, there's not much here, go away. They might show up a second time if you get a second shout out and take a look. If you got some good stuff there, they may stay. If not, they're going to say, oh God, there's junk, and go away. And you might even get a third look, but you probably won't get a fourth, fifth, or sixth. So really be careful about asking for shout outs before you have something worth watching. Believe it or not, I ran into this with my own channel, and it's been recent. The quality versus quantity situation. To stay current with YouTube, I think you need to publish once or twice a week. I don't know, 6 times a month, something like that. And honestly, if the weather is bad, or if in my case I'm waiting for parts and the weather is bad, it gets hard to keep up a rigorous schedule of putting out good videos, right? For me, I can put out without too much pain and suffering, right? I mean, or enjoyably, I can put out about 3 videos a week, considering the editing that goes into them, the amount of time it takes to make them, upload them, or make them, edit it, upload them, order parts for the next videos, look through Craigslist and Let It Go, Facebook Marketplace, and everywhere else to find all-terrain vehicles, right? There's quite a bit of background work that goes into a video, the work of making the video and the work of getting it up. So doing about 3 videos a week for me is pretty doable. A 4th video perhaps if there's a little more of a point and shoot video. Flea market videos normally don't require all that much effort to process them and upload them, so they go a little bit quicker. So for me, making 3 or 4 videos a week, pretty comfortable. If you're making a video a day, unless you have a topic that's easy to do, or you're amazing, you're spending a lot of hours on it, or you're really great with the software. But even if you're great with the software, just rendering a video and uploading it is over an hour. So there you go. Anyhow, there are people who are influencers or whatever, and they can put out videos much quicker. Everything they kind of do with their lives, like, oh look, I'm going to the beach, and then they do the beach video, and then the next day they do a video on the sunburn that they got, and then the next day they do a video about going to a club. So I guess for some folks it's not all that hard to put up a video a day. For me, for putting up the higher quality videos, I couldn't do a video a day. It was just way too much. It was becoming way too much like a job. So I seem to be happy at 3 or 4 videos a week, and I'm able to maintain the quality I want to maintain. So there we are. I'm going to call this part of the presentation channel business, and if you're doing this, to some extent it's a business, whether it's personal fulfillment or you're actually doing it because you need to make some money. Either way, it is somewhat of a business, and you do have to think about some business principles. One of the major things you got to be careful with is your personal life versus your business life. Remember, if you get to the point where you have, you know, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of views, sooner or later there's going to be a crazy or a troll or a hater, internet bully, whatever you want to call a person. You're going to end up with a problem child out there who may not like you for whatever reason. When that person starts their games, you want to know that they don't know what your address is. You really don't want them to be able to find you or your friends, your family, your place of business, unless, once again, the YouTube channel is tied right into your place of business and you live elsewhere, right? You want to be a little careful with that. You want to be careful about your personal phone number, even your personal cell phone number, because if it gets out to the world, once again, and you're up to 1 million viewers, chances are you might have a crazy person in there, and they might start calling you at midnight, texting you all kinds of wild things, threatening you. They might think they have more of a relationship with you than you think you have with them. Right? So you really want to be careful with your personal business. You want to get a P.O. box, so if somebody wants to ship you something, they could ship it off to the P.O. box. I recommend getting a burner phone, you know, one of those track phones or whatever, for $10 or $20 a month. And you want to do that pretty early on, even if you kind of have to do it out of pocket because your channel is not making enough money. I do recommend making those investments for a P.O. box. I don't know, what are they, 50, 60 bucks a year, and a burner phone, 15, 20 bucks a month. Do be careful about your personal business, because as your channel grows, the possibility of having somebody who's jealous or for whatever reason dislikes you, perhaps somebody from your past who still has an axe to grind, could even be a family member that gets jealous of you or doesn't like the idea that you're putting, you know, you mentioned something and they think you were talking about family business on there. Whatever it is, you know, do be careful and do try to remain somewhat anonymous. Don't put more out there than you're comfortable with having out there. Remember, the internet remembers forever. It's an elephant, except the internet lives forever. Elephants live a long time, but the internet lives forever. But be real careful about what you put out there. Another thing, if you have a channel that starts making some real money, let's say you manage to make $1,000 a year. Here in the United States, out of that $1,000, right, unless you're able to write off business expenses to bring that amount down, if you make $1,000 here in the United States, it doesn't matter what your income is, you owe the Internal Revenue Service $160 for Social Security. So it's good you got a channel, it's good you're making money, but do remember the tax man, because after $500 here in the United States, YouTube sends out a 1099. So the IRS is going to remember you. They will send you a little letter saying, hey, we got a 1099 from YouTube, which says you made $1,000. And from your tax rate of, I don't know, 12%. And let's not forget Social Security of 16%, right? You put those two numbers together, they're going to want 28% 6% or $280 out of that $1,000. And if you live in a state like New York that exchanges data with the IRS, they're going to ask for another 7%. So you owe New York State $70. So remember, YouTube, when they start paying you, is a business. So keep the books. Make sure if you have expenses, you write it down. Your camera, your memory, your computer, possibly some of your internet service, that burner cell phone, your P.O. box. All that stuff is tax deductible. So pay attention to it. YouTube, as you grow, will become a business, and you have to be ready for that. So let's finish this up. In conclusion, make good videos with thumbnails, tags, and a really good title. That's how you're going to be found, and that's how it's going to keep you going. Do good camera work, right? None of this jerky and, you know, up and down a movie stuff. Pay attention to your camera work. Pay attention to your audio. Do good work. If you can find a mentor out there, that's always helpful. Somebody out there who has a big channel, who finds your stuff interesting, you find what they do interesting, and quite honestly, if you have a lot in common, you become friends. You do some horse trading, you know, it really adds to one's life, right? Remember, quality versus quantity. You want to put up good quality stuff, and you want to get into a rhythm so that you can regularly put up good quality. If you put up a good quality video and then disappear for 2 months, you know, you're not going to grow the channel very quickly. You might get a lot of hits on that one video, but they're going to be looking for the next one, right? You make them hungry for the next video, and if it doesn't show up, what good is that? It's like that one-hit wonders in music. Remember, make good videos and get yourself into a nice routine so you can continue to make good videos. Most of all, be careful with your personal life. There's no use to having a YouTube channel if it's going to become a burden, because you end up with a stalker, trolls, haters, that old girlfriend from junior high school who found you now that you're married with children and she just can't leave you alone. Whatever it is, be careful, because it can easily happen. You're putting yourself out there. Don't put any more information out there than you think is correct. And lastly, hopefully if you follow all this and your channel starts making real money, now you got to run it like a business. You got to pay attention to what they're paying you every month. Remember, after $500 here in the United States, you owe taxes. Actually, you owe taxes before $500, but YouTube sends out or Google, ABC Corporation, whatever, they send out a 1099 at $500, and that tells the IRS you made $500, so you better be ready to answer the tax man on that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps. Please share your comments. And by the way, I don't know everything, and I'm ready to admit that. If anyone has any suggestions, please add them to the comment section. And once again, I hope this helps YouTubers out there. I like making content, and I like watching content, so I need people to make content. I like watching how people find these all-terrain vehicles, particularly the Honda stuff, and they manage to save it from out behind the barn or in the barn, how they fix it, and, you know, how it lives another life. Okay, everyone, I want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. Please remember to keep your feet down, your heads up, and I want you all to get out and enjoy each and every day. Bye now.